In this video, we'll look at how to create and interpret a service quality summary report in AppNeta. The service quality summary is a simple report summarizing network path event data. It displays the top violating network paths and most common types of violations, making the report especially useful for AppNeta administrators when initially fine-tuning alert thresholds on new paths, and for network teams who want visibility into issues on specific links or with specific applications. For a report aimed at leadership, consider using the application quality report instead. Let's take a look at how to create and then interpret the service quality summary report. As with most network monitoring reports in AppNeta, the service quality summary is composed of a group of subreports. The subreports are the service quality report, the violation breakdown report, and the top offenders report. For this example, we will create the summary report, but the steps are the same for each individual subreport. The first step is to filter the network paths included in the report. Typically, this will be a set of similarly configured paths monitoring the same application or network target from various monitoring points. In the Edit Report Filters dialog box, we can select an existing saved list of network paths. Or if we don't have a saved list set up in advance, we can choose from system tags to filter the paths based on configuration criteria. We can review the filtered list of paths. Then, we'll click Update to apply our filters. If we expect to run this report again later, it may be worth saving the filters. Organization admins have the option to share filters with other users in the organization, so other users can easily run this report. Next, we'll select a time range for the report and click Update to apply the selected time range. Now that we've run the report, let's take a look at the three different sections of the report. The first section is the Service Quality Compliance Report, which shows the percentage of time that the selected paths were in or out of the acceptable performance range as defined by their alert profiles. In this example, the report is run for 2 days, so the chart is broken down into 1-hour blocks. If we had selected a longer time range for the report, each block would represent a longer time period. In the report, a path can have one of 4 statuses. Violated, shown in red, means that observed performance was outside the acceptable range defined in the alert profile. Connectivity loss, shown in black, is when the monitoring point is unable to connect to the target. Failed, shown in gray, represents path configuration changes. For example, when the alert profile is changed, the path enters the failed state while evaluating the path status against the new profile. The failed state could also represent a gap in monitoring data if a monitoring point was offline. And finally, compliant, shown in green, means that all monitored performance metrics are within the required levels of the alert profile. Each bar in the chart is split into the percentage of time that the filtered paths were in each of these 4 states. To see the numeric breakdown for each bar, click Open Full Report. For the Service Quality Compliance section, there is no indication of what the cause of violation is. That's where the next section comes in handy. The Violation Breakdown Report breaks down the types of violations in the same timeline blocks as the Service Quality Compliance Report. The types of violations that appear here depend on the conditions that are configured in the alert profiles for the paths in the report. Following the chart is a table with the count of violations and count of paths where the violation occurred. There is also a link to the network timeline page for the top violating path in each violation category. From the first 2 sections, we identified periods with high violations and which alert conditions have been violated. However, we still don't know which paths experience these violations. That's where the third subreport comes in. The top offenders report lists the 5 paths with the highest count of violation events and the 5 paths with the longest time in violation. The report only includes violations that started within the report period. Paths with a high violation count can reflect an intermittent issue on the network, meaning that the path went in and out of a violated state, typically triggered by load or route. In a new AppNeta deployment, An AppNeta administrator may want to review the alert profile configuration to ensure violations are not triggered by brief periods of degradation. Increasing the time a violation must persist prior to logging a violation event is helpful to reduce alert noise. Paths with a high time in violation may indicate a sustained change in performance that should be reviewed for persistent performance issues. A sorted list of worst performing paths by violation duration is helpful for prioritizing investigation and remediation efforts. Open the full report to view additional paths. We can download a PDF version of the report from the Share button. We can also schedule the PDF report to be sent to email recipients on a given schedule. This schedule will be visible to others, so it's important to enter a clear name for the report. The type of report and the saved list selection are both taken from the current configuration. We can then choose the report frequency. The report will be sent just after the end of the selected period. So if we configure a weekly report schedule, the report will be sent just after midnight and will include the previous 7 days of data. We can optionally customize the PDF file name using variables, and finally specify who should receive the report. But before we automate sending this report to anyone else, it's a good idea to review the first scheduled report. Once we've reviewed the report, made any adjustments, and told any new recipients to expect the report, we can add additional contacts. To edit a report schedule, open the Scheduled and Saved Reports page. This concludes the demonstration of how to configure the Service Quality Summary report for a summary of network path event data. Thanks for watching.